Hi, my name is Angie, and welcome to my first vlog of 2021. It sounds so crazy just saying that 2021, 2021, 2021. I remember when I was, when you think about 1999, you thought, oh, it's never going to get here. And then it gets here, and you're like, man, how crazy is it? We're living in 1999, but now it's even crazier that we're living in 2021. So welcome to this channel. And this is something I have been wanting to do for a long time. And I'm realizing a few things as I've been trying to get started with this video. So first of all, it's really hard to get the lighting right because I'm not a makeup wearer. The most I like is like lipstick and drawing my eyebrows on. That's it. And so getting the lighting right so that you don't look pasty and washed out. I still haven't perfected that. I don't know how that's going to go. And then the other thing is trying not to have crazy eyes when you look in the camera. You know how sometimes when you take a selfie, you're looking at your picture, but then you realize your eyes are really stretched and it doesn't look natural. So I'm really trying to look natural, and I don't know how any of this is going to turn out. So those are the things I'm learning about this whole process. So again, I've been wanting to do a vlog for a long time, as well as a podcast. And sometimes we think we can't do something because we don't have experience doing it, or we just think we can't because we just can't. And we're, afraid. And so I made a vision board. I made that vision board in 2019, January 2019, now that I think about it, because I moved to Orlando in July of 2019. And so in any event, on my vision board, I have that I wanted to do a blog. Well, I already do the blog, but a podcast. And then I started thinking about a vlog as well. I have, if you've ever read my blog that I posted on Facebook, it's called Red Bone and Rice. And that is something that I've really been wanting to brand and have been kind of studying that. I really didn't know, like even with that, what content would be posted here as because when I write on the blog anyway, it's just like whatever speaks to me, that's what I write about. And I haven't written in over a year. I haven't written probably since, I think the last thing I posted was over a year ago, and it was regarding my mother's death. I lost my mother in November of 2019. And so I hadn't really written anything. So this morning, I have this journal. It's over there. I'm not going to go get it. But I've been keeping a list of things that I want to talk about, and I haven't done it yet, as you can see. So this morning when I was getting dressed, I had double stir and twisted my hair last night, which I have to do every other night, or actually I double stir and twist it every night, because if I don't, it will be looking a hot mess the next day. So I was taking my double stir and twist down and starting to play with my fro and pick it out and shape it and stuff. And I was thinking and looking in the mirror, and I said, you know what, I love being black. And I don't know that every person can say that about themselves, whatever your ethnicity is, your nationality is. I just love being black. And when I see the things that my hair can do, I love being black. When I can wear a box braid style, I love being black. When I had when I had locks, I love being black. And when I can wear this fro out, I love being black. And not just for those reasons, but just also there are features to black women, like, our noses, our full lips. And sometimes when I put on lipstick, I always like to tease my friends and I'll be like, here come my lips. If I'm walking down the street and a man is approaching me, I'm thinking, well, he ain't even looking me in the face. He's looking at my lips, and I'm like, here come my lips, okay? So there are a lot of advantages to being black, and culturally, with our food, our dance, our our speech, our family, just there's so many advantages to being Black. And so again, this morning I was thinking, I love being Black, and I especially love being Black today. And I didn't always embrace that, because as a little kid, that was the first time I had been called the N-word. And I was called the N-word by I was probably like 8 or 9 maybe. And I was called the N-word by a little white girl who wasn't probably 5 years old. And she stood beside her mother and said, "Look at that N." And I'm standing there like, well, who's she talking to? Because I didn't even know that word. My mother, I didn't hear her use it. I didn't hear my aunties use it. And I didn't know that word. And so when I got back to the car, because I was in a store getting some ice cream, and I told my aunt what had happened. And, basically then our aunties and moms and whatnot would say, "Oh, just don't pay them any attention. They don't know what they're talking about." Well, whoever said words don't hurt lied, because words do hurt. And I realized that her calling me the N-word all these years, and I'm 55 now, that impacted me through my adult life, the early part of my adult life, I guess, because I always felt inferior to white people. I remember feeling that way in school. I was a very shy child. I was very introverted. I didn't get in trouble. I did what the teacher asked me to do. I did what my mother told me to do. I didn't like getting whoopings. And I just remember feeling inferior to white people in school, even though I was smart. I was really smart. I got great grades, but I felt inferior in elementary and middle, in high school, especially high school, and even college. I struggled through college. I went to, a mainstream university. Classes were large. Sometimes you might be part of a very small minority of Black people in the class. And I always just felt inferior. I would not raise my hand in class. I struggled academically in college. Again, it was that inferiority that I felt to white people, and I didn't really talk to people outside of my Black tribe at the university. And I don't even think I made friends really with any white people during the time I was in college. And that impacted me academically in that experience, and also in the workplace. I wouldn't speak up for myself. Now, this is really unusual because my friends know that I'm very vocal. And for me to sit here and say that I did not speak up back then, they're like, who was that person? Because that definitely was not me in terms of in that circle, and it's definitely not me now because I've gotten a lot more bold. So having said that, I've learned to just kind of embrace my Blackness, love who I am, and I'm so glad that in 2005 I made the decision to go natural and take the creamy crack. Get rid of the creamy crack in my hair. And I have been natural ever since. And I have, the first couple of years, I even struggled with that because I thought white America expected me to look a certain way. And that is just not what I was interested in looking like anymore. Black men expected me to look a certain way. I was not interested in having that European look. And I think I needed to just find me. So going natural, I struggled the first couple of years because, the enemy will attack your femininity. He will make you feel, especially if your hair is really short, because I went short initially, and like really short. And the enemy will make you feel like you are not feminine. He will make you feel like there are certain labels placed on you that maybe aren't correct. I thought if I had short hair, people would think I was a lesbian. That was my naivety. And I struggled with that. And so I didn't really learn to embrace my natural hair until I moved to Austin. in 2006. And so being there, I had trouble finding a barber. And anybody who knows, you don't mess with a Black woman's hair, okay? You do not mess with her hair. And I just knew that if I sat in the wrong chair and he jacked my hair up, we were gonna have some problems. And I remember sitting in this barber's chair and I wasn't comfortable. He was a Black guy, it was a Black barbershop. I just wasn't comfortable with him cutting my hair. And he was talking too much. He was asking too many questions. And I was like, dude, just cut my hair. Because if you mess it up, we gonna have a problem. And so I remember walking out of there. He didn't give me a bad haircut, but I wasn't comfortable. And so when I walked out of there, I knew that I was not going to go back. And so that's when I initially, back then, started letting my hair grow out. And I had this afro that was, even then, that was unmanageable. But back then, I didn't even know how to manage it. And back then, we didn't have the products that we have now. The products are definitely a lot better. And I've learned what to do with my hair. And I've learned that your hair is going to do what it wants to do, not what you want it to do. So if it doesn't want to, your hair is not going to be all shiny and glistening in its natural state. It doesn't do like it does when you have a relaxer. So it just lays slick, your edges look smooth. It's not going to do any of that. I'm okay with my nappy hair. I'm okay with my untamed edges. I'm okay if it's not smoothed down and if it's not shining. So that's when I kind of learned to like really embrace it. And then I decided a few years later I was going to lock my hair. Now that was a journey in itself. And so locking my hair, I remember the loctician that I went to, Catherine. Catherine was Nigerian, and I loved her. And I remember our first consultation. And Catherine said to me, first of all, I was worried that it was even going to lock. It's like, how do I know it's even going to do what it's supposed to do? And so Catherine said to me, when I remember she touched my hair, and she's like, girl, your hair is good and nappy. Your hair is good and nappy. It's going to do what it's going to do. It's good and nappy. And I was like, okay. And Catherine told me the story about the Nazarenes, and I knew the story of Samson and Delilah, and you know that Samson's strength was in his hair. And so when Catherine told me the story, she basically said, you know, think about that, but also think about our hair is a source of strength. It's a source of our wisdom. And I was like, dang, who knew? And so after that, I decided that I was going to lock. And she said, and it's not permanent until it's permanent. You know, she said, you got time to reverse the process if you change your mind. So once I started that journey, I was a hot mess because again, I thought I should look a certain way and my hair was just doing all kinds of crazy things. And it would shrink and then it would elongate. It would shrink and then it would elongate. And then these little, if you've ever locked your hair, these little knots started to form in the lock and they call those baby dreads. And I was like, what in the world? So basically locking your hair is just it's shedding of hair, but that hair isn't going anywhere. It's just like kind of being rewoven, I guess, if you can say that, back into your hair, and it's not shedding anywhere. So it's like clunking in there, and then eventually, you know, in the process, it's smoothed out. And then I would notice that I could pull my lock and it would I could tell it was coiling inside. And also, again, I could recognize when it was doing its shrinking thing and its lengthening thing. So after I got through those I guess that first year was the hardest with the locks. And then when it started to grow and I started to get all this length, I was really digging my locks. But then the energy shifted. And so I was aware after, I guess I had them 7 years. And so after the 7 years, I was aware, actually in year 6, I was aware that the energy had shifted. And so I was, I got distracted. Something popped up on my screen there. So I remember the energy shifting, and I went to Catherine and I said, hey, I think I need to cut my locks. The energy's changed. And she's like, oh no, your hair is so pretty. Your locks are so pretty. Don't cut them. Let me trim them. So I agreed to the trimming, but I never felt settled in my spirit about the locks anymore. And so a year later, I went back to Catherine And I asked her to cut them again because I said, it's time to cut them. The energy has shifted. And she did not want to cut my hair. And so I remember, I said, okay. So I walked out of her shop and I went home and I thought about it. And on a Saturday morning, I got up and I just scooped up all my locks. Now, mind you, they were really long because they were down, I guess, past my bra strap. And so I scooped them up, I remember, and I just took my scissors and just started cutting until I cut them all off. And I remember cutting them, gathering them, and I put them in a Ziploc bag because I was like, what do you do with this hair? I didn't want to throw it away. I guess I was kind of superstitious. So I had to pick some of it loose because I didn't want my hair really short. So I spent like 24 hours, crazy me, picking the rest of my hair loose because I wanted some length on my hair. One of my girlfriends came over, trimmed me up after I had gotten them out, and then I was on my merry way. However, I hung onto the cut locks for a few weeks, and then I finally felt this sense that I could release them. And so I took this little tin pan and went out in my backyard on the patio, and I burned them. And I kind of said a prayer. I guess it was kind of a ritual for me, but it was releasing that any negative energy that I had absorbed over the years. So all that to say, as part of me loving being Black, and yeah, so with that, and then in light of what happened at the Capitol last week and this recent insurrection, in this nation, I can't help how white folk feel about themselves. I can't help people who feel like they're entitled. I can't help that people feel like they have privilege. All I can do is worry about me and continue to love me and try to be the best me that I am. Because when I look at them sometimes, I give them the stank eye and I'm like, through my mask especially, I'm like giving them the stank eye. And then I remind myself, that's not who you are. That's not the person that you've ever been. You're considerate, you're kind, you're thoughtful. And that's who your mother raised you to be. And don't let somebody else's issues become my issues. And so that's all I want to say today. And thank you for listening to me, and stay tuned because I will be bringing up my YouTube channel, Redbone and Rice, and hope that you guys will follow me. Thank you. Have a great day.